everyone, AceKulpster here with another cleaning out my dirty computer video. It's been a while since the last time I cleaned out my computer, and since the weather's been so nice lately, I took advantage of that. It's not so dirty on the top because it sits underneath the desk. Fairly clean on the back, surprisingly. Not a whole lot of dust there. Here's the front. There's the front faceplate. Here's the dust filter, which is also pretty clean because I don't really use it. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove the dust filter. Here's the back side of it. Pretty clean because I don't really use it. Even though you should. And this is why. As you can see, all the dust and dirt just gets caked onto the fans. Not only that, but it also gets on the inside, which also gets caked onto stuff. Here's the inside of the case, looking at the top fans from underneath. Those are pretty dusty. Back of the case with the rear fan. And the bottom two plates basically to cover your bad cable management. And here's my graphics card. Surprisingly, it's not all that bad. Here's my processor cooler. Now that's pretty bad, which can cause overheating and performance issues. Here's my memory cooler. Here's the top of my graphics card. A little dusty. And this is what I'm going to be using to clean out my computer. A data vac electric duster to pull out all the dust and dirt out of the computer. A clean towel. You can also use paper towels if you prefer. And I got some Windex. You can also use rubbing alcohol. I highly recommend investing in one of these data vac electric dusters because it saves you time and money versus using, canned air. This is what I always use to clean out the inside of my computer. And no, I'm not sponsored by DataVac. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove all the screws that are holding these two plates in place. And again, all these plates do is just hide your power supply, your cable management, and any drives that you may have inside, and only showing off your motherboard, graphics card, memory, and any RGB that you may have. I apologize for any loud background noise that may happen throughout this video. There's one main reason why I don't really make videos like this. It is what it is, and there's not much I can do about it. Okay, now that all the screws are removed, I'm going to take out the two plates. This here, as you can see, is pretty dusty. Now that those are removed, you can see the back side of those front fans, along with the bottom of the case. And yes, I know I have this hard drive just randomly laying there. I threw it in there the other day just to transfer my games onto it. Here you can just see how just thick the dust is. I'm going to carefully remove this drive just to get a better look at the bottom. All the dust and dirt and debris just settles down at the bottom. That is an air filter down at the bottom, which I can remove to easily clean it. But that'll be just too easy, and what's the fun of that? I'll quickly pan over everything again. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove the top dust filter. As you can see here, these fans are also filthy, just like the fans in the front. And these fans are pretty dirty because they push out the air that's inside the case. Here's the back of the case again, which isn't all that bad. Here's the front again. Here's the other side of the case, back behind the motherboard. And this is the only time that I show this part in the video because it wasn't all that dirty, and plus, bad cable management. So yeah, there's really not much to show on this side. Here's an SSD drive that I randomly stuck there, which I don't use anymore. Here's the bottom foot of the case on this side. It's not all that dirty, not too bad. Now it's time for the fun part, to blow out all the dust, dirt, and debris. Here we go. Look at all that just flying out of there. Now I know some of you are going to comment anyway saying, oh, you shouldn't do that to the fans, it's not good for them, you're going to wear them out, blah 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 blah. Well, I've been doing this for how many years, I've never had an issue with doing this. And it's not like I have the blower sitting on the fan for like 5-10 minutes. Here I'm going to put the nozzle in the CPU fan, blowing out all that crap that's in the CPU cooler. Because like I said before, having dust and dirt built up in there is going to cause you problems in the end, like overheating issues and performance issues. And I also have a cat, which is why you'll see cat hair fly around randomly all over the place. And speaking of cats, any pet hair is not good either, because it acts just like dust. Once it's in the computer, it's going to cause issues. And I'm going to blow off any dust and dirt on the back side of the computer. Also, it's good to blow out the ports because any dust and dirt that may be inside will cause connection issues with your devices. Now I'm blowing off all the dust and dirt that's on the fans on the top of the case. Here's the top panel that has things like the power and reset button, along with some I/O ports. Now to blow off the dust and dirt that's on the front. As you can see, the duster isn't getting all the dust and dirt off completely. That's because it's caked on, and when it's caked on like this, it can be one of two reasons. One, either something spilled on it, or two, moisture. And in this case, it's moisture. Now I'm blowing off the top fans from underneath. Now I'm going to go over everything inside one more time because I've blown all the dust and dirt from the front, back, and top down inside the case, so I'm going to blow all that out. Go ahead and use some Windex on a towel just to wipe away all the dust and dirt that the blower wasn't able to get and any stubborn stains. Again, you can use Windex, which is what I mainly use. And you can also use rubbing alcohol, but that can be mainly used for like any stubborn stains or anything that's like really caked on and Windex isn't able to get. And both Windex rubbing alcohol dries rather quickly, and that's another reason why I use it. Now at this spot I took an extra minute or two just to get it clean because it seemed like something was spilt there, so all that dust and dirt just like caked on there, made it even worse. Now you can use water, just don't use any soap because soap might leave residue when it dries. Now don't have the towel dripping in soap and wet. You just want it damp enough to where it'll just remove all the dust and dirt and any stubborn stains. And only wipe down the case and anything else that you may see me wipe down. Never wipe down things like the motherboard and any components that may cause a short, unless you're 100% sure that it's completely dry before powering on a computer. Now I'm quickly wiping down the top of the power supply, where it's pretty dusty. Again, the towel's damp. Quickly wiping the top of the hard drives. Wiping the top of my graphics card. Now I'm going to go ahead and scrub the CPU cooler because not only there's caked on dust and dirt, but there's also seemed to be some residue of thermal paste from the last time that I was in here. Believe it or not, this fan is actually clear because it's RGB. It doesn't look like it because there's so much dirt and dust underneath it that I'm not able to get to, unless I take it apart to clean it. And here it is all clean, looks so much better. Now I'm quickly wiping down the RAM cooler. It wasn't all that bad, so I didn't really bother with it. And plus, as you can see here, I'm checking the RAM underneath it to see if there's any dirt and dust. And surprisingly there wasn't, so didn't bother messing with it. And again, I'm just taking my time wiping away this part because it seemed to be caked on there pretty good. Adding some more Windex because the towel became a little too dry. Wiping down that top panel. Giving the CD-ROM drive a quick wipe. Now I'm going to go ahead and wipe away all that caked on dust. Now obviously you can take these out to clean them better, but I chose not to. Wiping down the part where the side panel latches onto when you close it. As you can see on this side, this panel is metal. Seems like something was spilt here, so I had to use some elbow grease to remove this. Now I'm going to go ahead and wipe down the two handles that are on top of the case. And then I'm going to go ahead and clean the top fans. Really getting in there to clean the fan blades off. Now I'm going to go ahead and wipe down the back of the computer. This here is the hinge for the glass side panel that's currently off. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. There was some dust and dirt down in there, so I had to take some time to clean that out. Wiping down the rear fan really quick. And one last time with the duster. There, everything's clean. Now, it may not be 100% clean, but it's a lot cleaner than it was before. Now it's time to put everything back together. Starting off with the front dust filter, and yes, I'm putting it back on. Quickly wipe it down, and if I really want to get these filters clean, I could just wash them by hand. Now I'm going to go ahead and wipe down the front faceplate cover. Spraying on a little Windex, and taking a towel and wiping it down. Now putting this back on, starting with the bottom first. As you can see, the little lip goes in the slot as the top clicks into place using magnets. Here it is, all clean and shiny. Now I'm installing the top dust filter. This can be tricky because you gotta get those corner pieces just right, otherwise the rest of the filter won't sit properly. Now I'm going to go ahead and wipe that down. Now I'm going to go ahead and wipe down this piece. This is basically a piece that sits on the back of the computer. Nothing but decoration, really. Now I thought I recorded myself installing this piece, but I guess I didn't, because when I'm editing this video I realized that there's no footage. But anyways, it basically installs the same way as you install the front faceplate. You install the bottom first and then the top is held by magnets. Towards the end of the video you'll see me put this back on the computer because I had to take this off in order to get the glass panel back on. This is what it looks like installed. Again, it's more of a decoration piece. Now it's time to clean those two metal plates that hide your power supply, cables, and any internal drives that you may have. I sprayed both pieces with Windex and I'm going to wipe it down really good with the towel. There, this piece is done. Look how clean that is. Now on to the next piece. I'm doing the same thing I did with the first piece, and that's wiping it down. Okay, now the second piece is clean. Now I'm going to go ahead and install these back into the case, starting with this piece first that goes over the power supply. And now the second piece, which hides the internal drives and any cables that you have running down to the bottom of the case. Now I'm going to install the screws that hold the two pieces in place. This is what it looks like with all the screws installed. Now last but not least, cleaning and reinstalling the glass panel. Spraying it down really good with Windex. I'm going to wipe it down with a towel. By the way, this is the inside of the panel. Now I'm going to adjust the hinge a little bit, then reinstall the glass panel. There's a metal plate with metal prongs sticking out, and you have to put the prongs through the holes of the hinge. Once you do that, you slide the panel down into place, as you can see here. See? Now I'm going to go ahead and close it, spray it with Windex, and then wipe it down really good one last time. Here's that back piece I was talking about before. It installs the same way the front faceplate does. And here it is all cleaned up, as I quickly pan over everything, both inside and out. And that's it. Give this video a like or dislike, leave a comment if you have one. Also, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, along with that notification bell to get notified whenever I upload new videos. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.